This is a report about children's Warlpiri in Willowra. In 2010, I recorded lots of children telling stories in Warlpiri. This report gives examples of the children speaking strong Warlpiri. We'll see some of the pictures that the children told stories about and listen to what they said. First, we'll hear about verbs, or words that are about actions. The children use lots of different types of verbs in their Warlpiri.
Chan bango kango chando yula charlanne chan bako chako wachil pungo kodongo cho chan bajo maleki kilde manu malekil ke wanti chayali yappa and malekil ke katunu stay singetje.
Warlpiri verbs can have two parts, a preverb and then a main verb. The children use these complex verbs in their stories.
Ucurko ekara padida. Anya mananyangul kambaro debiljal jana. Wadia kagora. Chirija chinda yapa nguchumano.
Lani jaja chando.
Another important thing about Warlpiri verbs is that they show the time when something was happening. All the way through the stories, the children show that they know how to use these different verb forms to show the time when the action was happening.
Yanunura munajalkul. Kantaka ninami chandolo. Swing one.
When people are bilingual, such as these children are, it's very common for elements from one language to appear in the other. This happens in verbs when the first part of the verb is an English word. It isn't a problem because the overall structure of the verb is Warlpiri. For example, if you have the word play in play jarija, the overall structure of the verb is Warlpiri. But it's important to make sure that the children are learning the Warlpiri verbs as well.
Nambodo kurdo name maleke kella play dia swinging Chindagra Jutisi Jaja Kodo Pala and Papa Pala Kade Lipti Mano Kangalo.
Sometimes other words from English are used. Often these are words that have been borrowed into Warlpiri because there wasn't a Warlpiri word for it. For example, tyre on a car or ladder. This is completely natural and it's not a problem. Sometimes the children use English words when there is a Warlpiri word that they could be using. This is okay as long as the children are learning the Warlpiri word as well. Adults can help by using Warlpiri words when they speak to the children.
Laidinglge luarno lakanyene. Tandoka unami imchai.
Walatni Pakiman.
But the children use Warlpiri words most of the time, and they use lots of different kinds of Warlpiri words, which is fantastic. Here are some examples.
Yula mega maleke. Pula jakudo jo kangane penanga tunyango maleke.
Yapak kayani urunyene.
Makiringe luwano.
Now let's look at the structure or the grammar of the children's Warlpiri, which means how they put words together to make sentences.
Yula mega maleke. Chindakal ki yanono wate.
Mula chankacho nonul pangmacha.
One way that Warlpiri differs from English is about showing who is doing an action to someone or something else. In Warlpiri there's an ending on the word that represents who or what is doing an action, called the ergative ending. If someone says,
Pachuno warnango kuru chinda,
we know that the snake was the one who did the action. In the children's Warlpiri, they do use the ergative ending most of the time. This is great because it's an important Warlpiri element.
Tinaka kodo yanono. Yanga warna pachuno.
Wichinekele pachuno warnango.
A change to the ergative ending is taking place in all of the communities. Speakers often use the ending instead of the longer endings.
Malayinga ngarene niame yaringaruno osi. Pula japarlo matanya ne baby nyenyango and big sister. Parudong panduno.
Another pattern that is in Warlpiri but not in English is when la is used, the way that it's used in these two examples.
Wanga jala chandok orange waja inang manu waja chandba ko jakang kanjada. Pula jala maliki kije.
Warlpiri has lots of word endings in its grammar, and the children are using all of these.
Malege katuno ya Willowra.
Wandija malkikera.
Chandu gatlipye kedinga munga.
Warkanu cindajo kandago wadela.
Kantaka ninami chandolo. Swing one.
A lot of children use the Warlpiri way of joining sentences together, but some children also use the English word and to do that.
Ula changa jo yallo kuljare jal taka. Ula changa chira no pinsingalge malekije.
In Warlpiri, it's important to show how many people are doing an action. 1, 2, or more than 2. A lot of the children do this.
Kanta lo ninnacha.
Cira maju kupalang luarno.
The children use the verb and auxiliary patterns correctly to show the different times that an action happened, whether it happened in the past, is happening now, or might happen in the future.
Walna tanga wiriya kangana. Pixie manut kolpa wiriya ngot kaje. Wachwel bongol kingije. Malikil.
Speakers have to know the grammatical patterns for joining parts of sentences together. A lot of the children show that they know how to do this.
Mami mano kodo pala pangada chandu manjako. Nyangulo pulo ko ngonanja kora yalyo kolo.
Malege kanjano chanba wachirunjano.
Ka kololo kango pulo ko ngura koral ko. Mula kodo yano kangalo kandako manjako.
Most often Warlpiri words end in a vowel, a, I, or u. One change that's taking place in all of the Warlpiri communities is that sometimes the a, I, or u isn't on the end of the word and the word ends in a consonant.
Tinga kolo an maleki kelle. An wabulgol. Kangayal barkan ngapak chakaro.
In some communities, some other sounds are changing in word endings.
Maliking panyango chanba.
Yapa panguna ya watia.
The children in Willowra speak strong Warlpiri to each other and to their families all of the time. The children use complex constructions and lots of different types of words. If families and teachers continue to speak to the children in strong Warlpiri as much as possible, they'll continue to learn it really well.